Hi, everyone. Welcome to another edition, episode 71 of the Lab Epstein Hitting Podcast. Great to have you in. It is Mechanical Breakdown Series, Volume 15, breaking down and talking about the swing of Milwaukee Brewers' first round draft selection, Sal Frelick. I've been wanting to do this one for a very long time. I'm very excited about it. He was one of my favorite players coming out of the draft last year. So let's get right into it. Let me bring in professional evaluator, successful business owner, former coach, friend, and co-host, the man with a tan, wearing a straw hat today, Jake Epstein.
It's almost like you were there.
I know.
Yeah, it was
crazy.
6 hours of 12U softball.
Yeah.
So it was dusty. It was hot. Record heat in Denver, like 98 degrees or something. So yeah, I'm hydrating.
Oh, me too. I'm
Water's
hydrating
good
as well, but my drink is over there, and I can't really reach over and grab it because I'm connected to like my
you should
microphone.
definitely. We can edit that out.
We don't do editing on this show, for those who don't know.
No, there's no editing.
No editing whatsoever. By the way, a quick question. We're going to get into a lot here on this show. We've got a good little show planned, as we always do, but we're going to play a little game towards the end too. But I want to ask just right out of the gate in regards to Sal Frelick. When you first saw him on video and you were tasked with evaluating him for your organization, what stuck out to you the most positively, and what did you think initially about his swing?
The big thing was that he got to a lot of different pitches. So pitches that typical left-handed players don't get to, he got to, and we'll see that in the breakdown as well. But he spoils a lot of tough pitches. And that, can you teach that? I mean, if you have a good launch position and you can make adjustments, you're in a good balance point. But the actual act of spoiling tough pitches is usually just something that's built into a player's DNA. And he had that. There'd be pitches down and away that every other player I'd be looking at, or I'm looking at players in the big leagues too, they would have just swung and missed at that pitch and the at-bat would have been over. Where he would get something, and it wasn't pretty. It wasn't a pretty move getting to a pitch at the bottom of your knees 2 inches off the plate, but he spoiled it. And then a few pitches later, he got a pitch to hit and he got on base with it. And that is the sign of somebody that's on a little bit different level. Meaning I take into consideration, different things like mechanics, obviously. Like, are there issues there? Are there really good moves? Are there great moves? Like Vlad mechanically is so great, short to the ball. But then how do you couple that with what do they do full speed? And yes, I got Vlad in there. By the way,
4 episodes in a row. 4 episodes in a row.
I got him in
there. I was going to bring him up too. I was going to do the honors this week.
So my daughter wants to buy a new jersey. So the other night she went to practice. She's got a Yelich jersey, which is awesome. And she hit like as good as she's ever hit as far as ever. So she's like, I need to get another jersey. So she's like, who are your favorite players? Like, who should I get, Dad? I'm like, well, my favorite hitter is Vlad Guerrero Jr. And so she found a powder blue, but she's like, what about Tatis? I'm like, Tatis is great. That would be a fantastic jersey too. But I got kind of a little swing crush on Vlad. And so I thought of you with that. But anyway, get back to Frelick. He just does, his mechanics are good. His swing plane is great. Okay, so his swing plane is way above average, even though his mechanics may not be as good as some other people in the draft. His swing plane is, and we'll see it on the breakdown, which is pretty cool. Like I remember, I don't know why I can't. Oh, Hunter Pence. Hunter Pence. The big joke. He's kind of a spaz, right? He drinks a lot of coffee and whatever. He's a lot of real twitchy guy, and his elbows were terrible. He barred his front arm for the most part. His back elbow would drop in. His bat would kind of get a little long here, but he'd be on plane. He'd be on plane with a big bat. I mean, he swung a big bat too, and it's like, okay, he's going to run into pitches. Like he's not swinging up 20 degrees and he's not swinging down 5 degrees. Like he's in the zone without any catastrophic barrel issues. So I don't care what those mechanics are like. And Frelick, he has really good mechanics. He's a hitter more than just being a really good mechanical specimen.
Yeah. So we'll get to his breakdown in just a couple of moments, and to watch along with us for this episode as we break him down, and every episode and archived episodes, clips and whatnot, the Lab Epstein Hitting Podcast YouTube page. So go ahead and subscribe to that. Last week we did Bailey Hemphill, and there's other mechanical breakdowns as well. Vlad Guerrero, of course, Christian Yelich, my National League MVP, Bryce Harper in 2021. So anyway, just subscribe to the YouTube page, the Lab Epstein Hitting Podcast. All right. So speaking of Vlad Guerrero Jr., I saw something it was circling on social media. I should say probably circling drain, because that's what social media is. But nevertheless, it was circulating throughout social media this week. And it talked about, somebody mentioned how he has a mental checklist that he goes through. You can tell in his body language. So, and we did an episode on maximizing the on deck circle. That's in the archives as well. So go back and listen to that. But let's go back to that for a second, and let's talk about a mental checklist for any type of hitter. What should that mental checklist consist of, whether it be in the on deck circle, outside the batter's box, or in the middle of a plate appearance?
That's not what this episode is about, Jim, and it wasn't on my spreadsheet. So,
well, I don't have a spreadsheet. I have what is called a script. So I don't know what's on your spreadsheet. See, the problem is you think too much about Vlad. That's the issue.
Again.
Yes.
That's why you're good. That was a great question.
Thank you. I know. Pat myself.
It really was like you. Yeah, you should, but don't make sure the earpiece doesn't come out. The mental check. First and foremost, you have to know the pitcher. Mm-hmm. You have to know what their pitches are, what their relative speed is. In college, it was really easy, right? We had TrackMan in all the stadiums, and I could run, his fastballs from 92 to 96, or 92 to 94, actually. It'd be like really, you weren't guessing at how fast guys were throwing. Plus, there's a gun on the scoreboard, right? Or there's a gun, and then the scoreboard, shows how hard they're throwing. Unless you're at Arkansas, where that gun is like 4 miles an hour harder for their pitchers to intimidate everyone. Not that their pitchers don't throw hard, but they all threw like 98. But it's very intimidating. You look up at the scoreboard. So you got to know the pitcher, what pitches he or she is throwing, how hard those relative pitches are. That's number one. And then what are they throwing for strikes? Maybe they can't get their breaking ball over. Maybe their fastball they can't get it to the inside of the plate. I mean, that's a really good thing as a hitter, knowing that, how many pitches, and this is where a good hitting coach comes in. How many pitches has this guy spotted up middle in? Like, is he throwing fastballs in, and is he getting them there for strikes? Well, he's thrown 40 pitches so far. He hasn't thrown one on the inside corner to a left-handed batter, something like that. Figure out. Well, it's like, now as a left-hander, I'm just taking that out of the equation. I'm going to look away. I'm going to keep my front shoulder down anymore. Maybe I'm going to cheek closer to the plate. My vision is going to be that way. So those are the mental checklists that good hitters have to have, is, what does that pitcher have, and what don't they have that day? And then, maybe there's little feels that I have, like, I got to make sure I stay on top. I've been popping everything up, or I've been dropping my barrel too much, or, there might be a little feel. You don't ever want to think mechanics in that situation, but maybe there's a feel of kind of get that front shoulder down a little bit. I got to make sure my head's back, make sure I don't jump during my stride. I don't want to get antsy. Yeah. That might be part of the checklist. And then game situations. What's the situation? We're up by 4, we're down by 4, we're up by 1, we're down by 1. What is that? Who's on deck? Who's behind me? Would they rather pitch to me, or would they rather pitch to that person on deck? So you can make it as complicated as you want. I don't think that's complicated, but you could have as many line items as you want. Maybe you got 5 bullet points. Mm-hmm. You got 1.
Yeah.
It's going to be up to you.
If the Blue Jays make the postseason, which on paper I think they're a better team and they showed it this week, better than the Yankees.
Yeah, they had a good week.
And I also believe on paper they're better than the Red Sox. I'm not sure they'll make the postseason, but if they do make the postseason, if they're a playoff team, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. has to be the MVP, correct?
Trending this way, Ohtani trending that way.
Okay. Well, Ohtani did
one
homer.
guy's hitting 250. Oh, did he hit one?
Yeah.
Did
But
he hit
Vlad also hit Vlad on Saturday, also hit his 43rd.
Yeah.
He's like kind of an
Ohtani's hitting 250. Somebody wrote in, I don't know if they wrote into the podcast, they wrote into the YouTube page where we posted the analysis, and they said, it's a good question. Why is Ohtani struggling so much? You know, and I said, look, if you break down that, if you go through that annotation again, you'll see his barrel. You know, he's a guy that drops the barrel and then he comes back up underneath it. And when he's on time, he's great. When his timing is good, he's fantastic. Mm-hmm. And he has great timing. He has great vision and awareness. But you will get exposed more with that move. And that's why both those guys are hitting 40-something home runs, but one guy's hitting, you know, almost 50 or 60 points higher.
So that is
but one guy doesn't pitch.
We'll get to that question. We don't have time for questions today. We'll get to that question next week, though. Oh, you can send us your questions on our YouTube page, The Lab Epstein
anytime,
podcast, by the way.
Yeah.
So anyway, like I was saying with Vlad, though, he's probably the MVP if the Blue Jays make the postseason. I also want to bring up, though, a guy who I would probably vote for. I think he should be in at least in the top 5, if not at minimum the top 7. And his name, he's getting paid $18 million this year for a 1-year contract. His name is Marcus Semien. I said to another team that they should have signed him to play shorts. I won't name the team, but I said to that team, you know who the team is. I said to them they should have signed him to play short. And there's a certain team out there that went on to sign another guy for 2 years to play short. And that guy's been hurt and he hasn't been swinging the bat well. Nevertheless, Semien, a lot of money, $18 million, but it's only 1 year. It's only a 1-year deal. And I just want to give you some numbers here with Marcus Semien really quickly.
Yeah.
To me, I would vote. I would seriously think about possibly, if the Blue Jays make the postseason, possibly voting him as the MVP. And I in the American League, and I do believe that he can also still play shortstop. Marcus Semien, though, 38 home runs this season. That's 4th best in Major League Baseball. 547 slugging, 8th best in Major League Baseball. 154 hits, tied for 8th in Major League Baseball. Bo Bichette, by the way, is 3rd in baseball with 162 hits.
I see you.
Yeah, I just want to throw. You know, you get in Vlad every episode. I'll get in.
I
Bo.
do. Mm-hmm.
I have to get in Bo. 37 doubles for Semien, tied for 2nd in all of Major League Baseball. So those are some pretty heavy numbers right there.
Yeah,
I don't know how much. I don't know how much you've watched of him, but he's having his greatest year. He's always been a good hitter, but this is like another guy, a completely different guy. What do you think he's doing so well at the plate right now in this season? Maybe adjustments that he made from last year.
I don't have an answer to that question.
All right.
I don't know. I haven't seen him enough. I haven't seen him enough. He's, you know, so I'd be making whatever up. But I will say that he's in a new environment, and he's happy and he's feeling good, and he's going to get paid next year. Yes. Not that 18 million is, you know,
that's not jumping
anything to laugh at. But he's going to get a 3-year deal.
I know this though, that you have to pay not only if you play in Toronto, or you work in Toronto and you live in America, you know where I'm going with this. You have to pay not only the IRS, you know, you have to pay Uncle Sam, but you also have to pay what is called the RCA in Canada. That 18
which is
million
the Royal what?
Some Canada thing. Whatever.
Royal Canadian.
Something that should be, like in America, illegal, taking away our federal taxes, but nevertheless.
So, yeah, that's rough.
Yeah, so he was paying double tax. So that, and plus the agent, that 18 million, that goes pretty quick.
Doesn't seem right.
No, it doesn't, does it?
If the owners of the Blue Jays, if that's a Canadian team, they should just pay Canadian tax. Now, if the Blue Jays come and play a game here, I see them, you know, getting taxed there.
Right, but I'm saying Semien, Semien's a resident, probably I would think a resident of America, but he works in Canada, so he had to establish residency. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, that's right.
I'm guessing that he has to pay both. That would be my guess. In fact, it's not my guess. I know.
Go to the Rangers.
The Rangers.
Yeah.
Kind of a random team. I would have personally said the Angels. It'd be a good fit.
No, those are big taxes. You don't want to go to California.
You can always
he was already there. No, Florida.
I don't think he was there. No, he was in Oakland. Well, he was in California, right? Florida, no. The Rays probably couldn't afford him. Plus, the Rays have Wander Franco.
So
best player
Oakland
like
is
ever.
in California, right? Oh,
I don't know. Is it? You tell me.
Yeah, it still is. I know they're trying to, break off different pieces of California, but yeah, you still pay California tax.
I thought I thought people were trying to break off like certain states in America.
Everything.
Also, so with Simeon, just to tie up what we're talking about here, I would think about seriously voting for him MVP.
Yeah.
Be sure to like and subscribe to the podcast. If you have any questions, jimbopodcast21@gmail.com. And of course, on social media at Epstein Hitting and at Jim Tara. And our YouTube page now. Apparently, you can submit questions there too. The Epstein Hitting podcast.
You got to get to the YouTube page. There's so much free content there.
Yeah. And you can watch us. In fact,
I'm going to take it down in 4 hours. So you better,
you're going to
get it now.
Oh, you're going to take it down in 4 hours? Why do you want to take it down? We want to put stuff up there.
I'm trying to create demand, Jim.
Right. I got you.
You have 4 hours or it's gone.
Yep. 4 hours. Okay. Let me now, before we get into Sal's beautiful swing, which is what it is. It's a beautiful swing. I want to give you some numbers here on Mr. Frelick. This is just in minor league baseball right now. Is Arizona fall? I don't know what league he's in. Rookie league, whatever. I'm all confused now with the realignment. 29 games, slash line.
It's so different now.
Yeah. Slash line 352, 429, 484. Not bad. A home run, 17 knocked in, 7 doubles, 3 triples, 10 stolen bases. By the way, I gave him a 60 grade on base running, 70 grade on speed. So I was right there.
Yeah.
Those are some just bulk of his numbers right now. In professional baseball. Broad question here. It's not going to be as good as the first one, but what do you make of those numbers in the start to his professional career?
Great.
Mm-hmm.
That's fantastic. I mean, he's an A-ball, I think.
Okay. So maybe he got called up. Okay.
He did. I don't know which stats are which, but I'm pretty sure is he in Wisconsin now?
He may very well be. I just looked on his baseball reference.
Yeah.
Page.
So no, I mean, he's hitting the ground running, which isn't always the case. Unfortunately, I know a lot of times first rounders get out there and struggle. Now, I mean, if he's coming from, Boston College and going to rookie level ball, like a couple of my guys, I can't wait to see it. So Tristan and then Quinn Lowe, the two kids that I've worked with forever, right? Since they were like, young kids, in person and the online academy. The Brewers drafted them as well much later. And unbeknownst to me, which I thought was really cool, but they got one hit his first home run the other day and the other got his first couple hits. So they're a rookie ball though, so that's different. Even Jake Epstein here did really well in rookie ball. So when you're going to high A or something like that, and you're fresh kind of, out of the draft, that's pretty great, that he's still producing.
So comparatively, Henry Davis, number 1 overall pick for the Pirates. Smaller sample size, 8 games, hitting 308, 380, slash line 308, 387, 808. Small sample size for Henry Davis, but nevertheless, Sal has more bats and his numbers are better. And I think if you even that out, with Henry Davis, they'll be somewhat on the same plane there. But still,
yeah, and it looks like Sal he had 15 at bats in rookie ball.
Yeah.
Hit 467, then he went to A-ball in Carolina League, and then he hit 437 there.
Right.
With 70 at bats, they just brought him up to high A. West the Rattlers, and that's and so he's struggling there, right? He's 6 for 40, so they're pushing him through, which I think is great, which means next year he starts off at high A, and then likely, if all works out well, he finishes at double A, and then all of a sudden, we're getting close.
Okay. By the way, I was just looking at what I marked as his ETA to the majors, but
look at you.
I'm looking at it. I don't know if we agree on the ETA though.
What's yours?
2024.
No, that's right.
You think so?
That's where I would be.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I was thinking about this also. I want to bring this up. Just
although he can play some defense.
Yeah. Yes, he can.
He can really play defense. So it could be sooner than that. I mean, maybe with a September call up, but I think if he progresses well, 2024 would be good.
So I'm going off script here. I have to admit this. I was thinking about this as I was preparing for the show this week. You know why I think I like Sal so much? It's because
he's Italian.
No, because I see myself.
It's totally obvious.
I don't think he's Italian.
Yeah.
Frelick's not Italian, is it?
But Sal, I mean, come on. It doesn't matter what your last name is. If your first name is Sal.
Mm-hmm. I see myself. I kind of see myself in him as a player. Just he's a lot better. But
we'll see if your mechanics are better in a few weeks here.
In a few weeks, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I have to say, I think that's why I like him so much, because I think I saw myself in him.
Totally
a little
makes
bit.
Sense. Absolutely.
But now, comp wise, if you were, somebody asked me, what would your comp be? What was your comp as a player? And I said, well, I wasn't very good. So what's the fucking point of this? But
hey, do you know that guy in AA that got kicked out all the bars? Yeah, that was my comp.
So Roger Dorn's my fucking comp. So I gave him I gave him my comp. I said David DeLucci. Well, I've watched a lot of Sal here. Did a report on him, a whole report I've watched. Wait, let me see how many hours here. 21 hours of film on Sal Frelick, believe it or not. And I finally figured it out. My comp is Sal Frelick. My comp, not his comp. My comp is Sal Frelick.
If they said, hey, you know who your comp is, Sal?
Who?
This guy that does a podcast.
Yeah, that's right. The stupid podcast
works for the Jays.
Yeah, I want to give one weakness, by the way, with him though. There is one thing I see, and when you look at a guy like Henry Davis, Jack Leiter, Kumar Rocker, all guys that were drafted in the first round out of college, they have one thing that I'm not sure Sal has. It's that physicality, meaning they are built, and they are built to withstand. In Jack and Kumar's, maybe not Kumar now, but in Jack's case, withstand 25 starts a year. Henry Davis, 140 minor league games, 162 major league games without injury or without significant injury or missing significant injury time. I'm not sure that's the case with Sal. That's what worries me a little bit about his body. Still has a chance to grow, but again, he's 21, 22 years old.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, you could be a big beastly person and be hurt all the time too.
Right.
In fact, those guys that are big and tight and work out all the time, it's like those are the guys that are always hurt. Has Vlad been hurt this year?
No.
Right. Because he's got a little chub to him.
Well, he lost some of that chub.
He did, but he's not like one of these freaks, at 3% body fat that tears obliques every 2 weeks. There's that's sometimes we get a little extreme with our lifting, and I don't think that's a bad thing. I think getting big and strong and being physical is important, but it does come with probably some wear and tear on the body, I would say.
So I pulled up something on Frelick here on my computer next to me, my other computer. He's 5'9", 175. Let's see here. Yep, that's what I put here. 5'9", 175. Is that okay? You think? He's my size. He's literally my size. He's literally my same weight.
He doesn't have to hit balls over the fence, but he does. So he hits the ball hard enough.
Well, I'm not afraid of that. I'm afraid he's not going to be able to withstand the grind. Yes, that's the only thing I worry about. And maybe I'm like that boss at work.
I think you'll be okay.
Maybe I'm that boss at work who likes to has to find something wrong with the employee during the employee review. Maybe that's what I'm doing right now. I don't know.
Yeah.
We are the same exact size, though. How about that? He's my comp. I told you. He's my comp. The hell with David DeLucci.
Right.
Hell with that guy. All right, let's get to his mechanical breakdown here, volume 15.
All right, we're going to start this Frelick breakdown with kind of a different view than we've done before. And this is, I believe this is, this is Prospects Live video, but it was taken, I believe, at the Cape Cod League probably last year. But, I want you to watch this, this fastball, this guy dots low and away. And this is a great fastball. Look at it work back towards the plate. It was a two-seamer. Again, it's left on left, right? You can see that ball really starts out almost on a line like this towards the catcher's elbow. Okay, see it dot there, and then it's working back. See how it works away from that green line? I mean, I'll tell you how much movement it had on it, right? So that was a good pitch as a hitter, right? And then you go through and you're like, okay, I'm 0-1, and now here he's sitting on a breaking ball, okay? So he's sitting on, the reason we know he's sitting on a breaking ball is because he's not fooled, he doesn't make an adjustment. He strides, the pitch is up, okay? So now we're seeing the pitch here. And then we saw the fastball breaking in a lot, right? So we're going to see this one break more this way, away from him. He hangs it and he jumps all over it. And he hits a double into the right center field gap. Now, why is this important? Well, it's important because if we go back to the first pitch that this guy dots down and away, a running fastball, that's not a good pitch to hit. But then he has the wherewithal to say, you know what? He's 0-1 or whatever the count is. I'm behind in the count. I know with that fastball, I'm going to look for a breaking ball. And maybe I'm going to get something to hit. And sure enough, he hangs it. Look at it pop out of the guy's hand. See how it pops up? Okay? And it's like, there's a cookie. Right here, he's saying, that's a cookie. That's a good ball to hit. And he jumps on it. Okay? So we can have great mechanics as a player. But great mechanics don't mean anything if we don't know how to either anticipate and look for pitches. And most important, we don't miss mistakes. I mean, this guy obviously is a left-handed pitcher in the Cape Cod League. He's left on left. And this guy says, you know what? You gave me one pitch to hit, and I smoked it into the gap. Who knows what the next pitch would have been? It may have been a breaking ball in the dirt. So being an opportunistic hitter is really, really important because we don't always get good pitches to hit. And what didn't he do? Here's a left-handed hitter with hardly a barrel drop at all. His bat vertical angle is not even like 20 degrees here. So for a left-handed hitter, you don't know how many left-handed hitters I've seen and worked with. Getting them under 20 degrees on high pitches is one of the hardest things to do. Lefties are notorious for dropping that barrel down and in. They're very good low ball hitters, okay? So when I would see a guy like this making an adjustment on that, and everybody talks about, oh, your shoulders have to be level to the bat and this and that. There's his shoulder angle, right? There's his, whatever you want to call it. Everybody says your connection or whatever it might be. His shoulders were 29, but what was his bat? Okay? That's why people need to understand that the hands play a role in the swing. Okay? This, to me, is barrel control. This is a guy that has flexibility in his swing. He can hit pitches up. He can hit pitches down. Because you know how hard it is to try to move your body, tilt it down more or tilt it up more when you're swinging? It's impossible. Okay? You can't do that. But you can make little hand adjustments late to be able to get to pitches that are up or down. And that's what he's showing me here. So those are very advanced skills. Now, not everybody can do that, but it does tell you, okay, this guy does stuff that maybe other people don't. And maybe that's what made him a first rounder. All right, so now let's go to a side view we have here. And we're going to see, a very small stride. And what I've noticed with him is he has a couple different strides. He has this one, which is he just kind of sticks his foot out, he waits, and then drops it, almost like, I don't know, some people would be a two-strike approach for that. And then sometimes he also has one where he really gets after it with his stride. I'm not going to say it's like a, Bichette, stride, but it's, it's not this little hesitation where he's putting it back. This is an apprehensive move. Because when he puts his foot down, nothing happens with his hips, right? So he's just kind of putting his foot down, he's feeling for it, and then boom, he's firing his body after that. Now, this ball was smoked. This was a home run, on a pitch that was kind of up and in that he turned on. And again, when I see a left-handed hitter that can handle pitches up, that usually tells me their swing's going to play at velocity. And right-handed hitters too, but especially left-handed hitters. Okay, does that mean he's not a good low ball hitter? That I don't know. I haven't seen enough of that. But it does tell me that velocity isn't going to be a problem with him. Why? Because this is a very small move. Everybody's, very caught up with, make sure you get a ton of separation between your hips and your hands. He's not a huge guy. right? I mean, he's got a little bit of torque here. Okay. This is an athlete getting his foot down on a pitch up and in, turning on it and hitting a home run. Okay. That is what takes skill. That is, very, very difficult. That's why it's important to be able to react. That's why pepper's important at a young age. That's why, hey, we're going to work on pitches up at your belt. We're going to work on pitches at your belly button. Where was this pitch? I mean, this one was, right, kind of coming in this way, right at his belt. We're going to work on that. We're going to make sure, look at his barrel. It doesn't dump underneath here and then come back up like this. Okay. Yeah, I wish we could see that middle frame, but I'm thinking he's going here to about here to about here, and then he's probably going here, and then he's going to start working up, somewhere after. But to me, when guys can do that, especially like I said, left-handers at high level, this is an ACC league game. It looks like they're playing Louisville. It's pretty impressive stuff. So, mechanically, I'm not there. He's not the prettiest hitter I've ever seen. Okay, he doesn't create the most torque I've ever seen. This position here isn't the greatest top hand position. I'd like to see that barrel up here a little bit more. His back foot and back knee, they're good. They're not great. There's not a lot of energy kind of going into the ground here. But what does this kid do? He finds barrels on pitches that are up, down, in, and out because he has a swing plane to do it. And really, what I tell my players all the time is the swing plane doesn't lie. If you don't have an issue with your swing plane where your barrel kind of drops down here and then comes under and then we flip our wrist to get back up to it, that was like the worst line ever, but you get what I'm saying. If your swing plane is good, a lot of times I don't care what your front shoulder looks like. I don't care what your back elbow looks like. If you have bat drag, the worst bat drag in the world, but your swing plane matches what I need it to match, meaning it gets on plane at about here at the front knee, with that pitch, and then it stays on plane right in front of the front toes. If you're on plane from there to there on pitches that are up or down, then you're going to be successful, and I don't really care what your mechanics do. I mean, that's what it comes down to. So this kid's a hitter, right? He's a gamer, he's a hitter, he's an unbelievable defender. I actually think he robbed a home run the other day in A-ball, where he's playing in the minor leagues. But I'm excited to see where it goes. I'm excited to see where this swing goes in a couple years. Hopefully he's in the big leagues in maybe 3 years, and we can see his swing a little bit more. And then maybe we can come back and do another comparison and see what differences and similarities there are, okay? Because I think that's really important. You'll see what a minor league development program maybe does for him. Maybe they adjust his stride a little bit. Maybe they don't mess around with him at all. So only time can tell, and I don't know. I'm pretty excited to see it.
All right, Ep, great job as always on that. Thank you very much for doing that. Let's play a little game. Well, here, I want to give you some notes here that I made about his swing.
Yeah.
So I put no wasted movement, simple load step, generates, I put decent torque. What else did I put here?
Check.
Excellent bat quickness, good swing plane, and he stays balanced throughout. That's what some of the notes. In terms of raw power, I said gap to gap type pop. And I said his power is to right field, but his power is going to drop with his swing, with the swing that I saw. Go ahead.
He's got pop, but
yeah.
That's not the kind of hitter he's going to be. I mean, if he could be a 10 to 15 home run hitter, and hit 300 and play great defense, that's what, and steal some bags and put pressure on outfielders, that's his role. His role isn't to drive in 100 runs and hit 35 home runs. So all those things you said, I mean, that's what it is. I mean, we saw the same thing. His stride kind of changes. Remember Coco Crisp? Remember that guy?
Mm-hmm.
He kind of he was real, kind of, handsy and
very fidgety.
Frelick has those kind of hands, like we saw in that, during the analysis, we saw on that pitch that was up and in, where he just kind of like got his hands to it, and he didn't have a lot of torque, and he didn't have a huge weight shift, but he had such good hands. He got to that pitch and hit it out of the park, like no problem. So that's why I really think that he has good, bat to ball skills, and he doesn't need to be a guy that has a huge, I mentioned Bichette, in that breakdown, how Dante like has the huge leg kick, coils up like a big spring, and unleashes the beast, and then with 2 strikes he doesn't strike at all. Mm-hmm. Right? And so that's kind of Frelick has. He kind of has more of that 2-strike approach all the time, or more of most of the time. So he's not trying to sell out and drop bombs on every pitch. He's trying to hit line drives. He's trying to hit doubles and triples, which at 5'9", 175 pounds, that's what he needs to do.
Would you incorporate a leg kick?
Not if he's not comfortable. And I feel like at this point in his career, if he's not doing it, then it might not be something you want to do. Doesn't mean that it can't happen. You look at Jose Bautista back in the day, was a big leaguer for years with the Pirates, came out with a leg kick and changed his whole career. So, I mentioned in that analysis as well about, it'll be neat to see in 2023 or 2024 when Frelick, if he starts to get some time and we get to see him on a regular basis on television or, on the highlights, where did his development start, today or, a couple months ago? And then where did it end up? Is he exactly the same guy? I'm sure he's going to look very, very similar, but did his stance change? Did his rhythm change? Did his leg kick change? Only time will tell on what the Brewers development, staff and Sal himself decide to do going forward.
All right. So before we tie a bow on this episode,
nice.
I do have, again, a scouting report, one of many. I wrote, one of many that I've written, but one I've written for Sal Frelick. See that right there? I'm not making it up. I wouldn't take all the time. This isn't a script. This isn't the show script. This is an actual report. Wait, hold on.
There, you're gonna have to go slow with a position player. That's all I saw.
Okay. Well, it said position report.
Oh, it's blurry.
Yeah.
Or it's my cataracts. Position report, amateur something. Okay.
So I have filled one in for Sal, a report. So we're going to play a little game because I'm not very creative. It's called True or False. I'm going to throw out some things here from the report, and Ep is going to tell me true or false if he agrees or doesn't agree. True, false. True, false. Okay. All right.
My best.
You seem ready to go by your reaction there. All right. Start at the top here. I'll start at the top here.
Is that too soon?
This is gonna take forever.
Like a child.
His final OFP. I gave him a 60. True or false?
Oh, this is on your scouting report?
Yeah. OFP. For those who don't know, Google it. I don't feel like going into it right now because we don't have much time.
True.
Okay. 60 meaning his overall grade, people. Okay. Now you Google the rest. I'm not going to. So 60 final OFP. This is prior to him, by the way. I wrote this. I finished this in May of this year, prior to the draft. Okay. So that's 16. What'd you say?
No, I was trying to think I was thinking when you wrote it.
I wrote it.
You wrote it
late May. Late May.
All right. Could be a false, but that's all right.
Could be what?
Could be false. Was it true? Was it really a 60?
I wrote right here 60.
Oh, you did? Okay, so true. I was right.
Yeah.
I know you don't go fives.
No, I don't go middle numbers. I go numbers. It's either a 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. So 60. This is his final OFP prior to being drafted. 60. So you gave that true. Okay. All right.
Am I guessing what you did or am I agreeing?
No. This game is going great. This game is awesome. No, what you're doing is I'm going to throw out something. You're going to say true or false as in saying, I agree with you there, Jim. Good point. Or no, Jim, I disagree with you. You're an idiot.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I thought I was just trying to.
You're not getting. No, you're not guessing here. What are you trying? You're trying to figure out what's in my head.
Yeah.
A lot have tried, and all have failed.
A lot of room in there. I would agree with that. I'd agree with that, Jim.
Category, above average. True or false?
True.
All right. Major league position. I put center field.
True.
Everyday center field. Okay. Major league role. I put MLB regular.
I hope it's true.
Is it true or false? Do you agree or disagree? You can disagree.
I'm going to agree with you.
Are you doing that just because you like me?
No, I want him to be.
But do you feel he will be?
The game is so screwy that kind of player. I mean,
I'm not saying he's an all-star. I'm not saying he's going to be an all-star now. I said MLB regular. Right. I didn't say all-star. I said MLB regular.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you.
Okay, true. All right. Yeah. All right. I know. Listen, I get it. I'm being serious when I say this. I'm not being facetious. Yeah. I know it's tough to separate the feeling from the want to the actual.
Yeah, it is.
How you feel.
I think he plays good enough defense that he could be a major league regular.
Okay.
Like he runs well. He runs the bases well. He plays a good center field. He's going to hit. He's not going to hit for power. And if
hold on now. I mean, we got to go through the report.
Okay. Sorry.
Just remember, we all, I want my kids to be billionaires one day. Is it going to happen? No. So, I know you got to look at it through the lens of, being realistic here. I would love for Sal to be a 12-time All-Star. Is it going to happen? I don't think so. MLB regular, I can see though. All right. So we agree. Okay. So you agree so far. All right. I'll skip to athletic physical description. I don't need to bring that into play. Athleticism. I put above average athleticism. That's true or false? I mean,
true.
Okay. Above average hand-eye coordination.
True.
All right. Body comp. How about this? Shane Victorino.
The Flying Hawaiian.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, that was.
No, you're right. You're right.
What is it? What was
Flying Hawaiian? Shane Victorino.
Who was the guy, the defensive back with the great hair for the Steelers?
That was
Palomalo.
That he was he was not the Flying Hawaiian. No.
He was not the Flying Hawaiian. Shane Victorino.
Body comp, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. False.
I'll have to change that. I'll change that to Jim Tarabokia. Okay.
That's more like it.
Okay. Let's see here. Deceptively strong.
Yeah, at 175.
Okay. So
deceptively strong.
True or false?
True.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't mean to go off. Forgot the rules of the game.
We're never doing this game again. No, I'm kidding. A high energy player from first pitch to last pitch. True or false?
True.
Can be the best athlete on the field at any given time. True or false?
False.
Knows how to compete. That's an easy one. True or false?
True.
Okay. High aggression is his key intangible. Comes to play every day. True or false?
False.
False. Why do you say false? Which part of that?
I don't think that's his key intangible.
I said a key intangible. Not the.
Oh, well, that would be true.
Sorry. I should.
Yeah. No, I may have misheard.
I say, all right. High aggression is a key intangible. My mistake.
Yes, absolutely. No, absolutely.
Okay. All around winner with high character makeup. True or false?
True.
Okay. I got to go back to something really quickly.
I mean, I don't know if he's a winner. Is he an all around winner?
Well, the way
I don't know.
Well, the way he projects himself.
Yeah, I mean, he's a high character guy for sure. Okay.
I got to go back to something. You don't believe he can be the best athlete on the field at any given time?
No, because there's a shortstop on the field at any given time.
Okay. All right. Good point.
I feel like there's. Yeah, I'm trying to go through, a different, athlete, maybe player. I mean, he could be the best player, but athlete, there's freaks out there.
All right, fair enough.
Is he a left-handed thrower or a right-handed thrower?
Right-handed thrower.
Yeah.
I got to admit something to you, by the way. So on the original report I wrote prior to the show, when I was doing my prep, I actually wrote best player. And then I said, you know what? I got to go back and change that and crossed out player and put athlete instead. So I was right the first time.
Of course you were.
Can you believe that?
That's cool.
Anyway, people are after this episode, people are going to be like, oh, you guys are just shilling for Jim and his stupid scouting reports. Not true. Hey. False. Right. Profiles. This one you may disagree with. Profiles as a hybrid mix between Kevin Kiermaier and Chris Taylor. True or false? Hybrid mix.
Yeah, that's kind of good, actually. I like that.
Okay. All right.
I'll go true.
Okay. Here's one that's, again, you may disagree with, but type of player you want to build a culture around. True or false?
Yeah, it depends. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not 100% on that one.
Okay, that's fair. That's a tough one. I don't like throwing that out. I don't like throwing those types of sentences or characterizations out there. But I think if it stands out for a player, I'll put it.
And it depends. Like I don't know him personally. If he's a scrappy fighter, yeah. If he's a choir boy, no. And I don't know what he is. I know his name's Sal. He's probably not a choir boy. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, they would have changed his name. But I mean, it's too early early for that.
That's what they said on my scouting.
I think he's going to add. I think he'll add to the culture.
Okay.
That they have the makeup of that team. I think he fits in kind of with the makeup of that team.
Okay.
But building around him, it's too early for me.
Okay. All right, let's go to the tools here. We'll go through this. I'll go through this quick. Hit tool. I put presently 60, future 60. True or false?
True.
Stays balanced throughout the swing. True or false?
True.
True. Excellent bat quickness. Right. True.
True.
Here's one though. Generates decent torque hampered by his front shoulder angle in the load. Front shoulder is a little high. For my like.
True. Yeah. No, he doesn't create a lot of.
Okay.
He does resemble a right-handed thrower when he hits left-handed. It's a little bit forced. It's not a smooth kind of move. Mm-hmm. It's a good move, but again, he's just got good hands. It's the old saying. He's got good hands.
You alluded to this earlier. Plate discipline. I put presently 60, future 60.
Play discipline.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, true. I mean, I'd even push for 70.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right.
Yeah, I think he could be really good in that role. Like,
yeah, I put
guys work.
I put displayed patience against tough pitching. Doesn't chase.
Yeah. And he battles.
Yeah.
That's a strength. That's a strength for him.
Raw power. I put 50 presently, 50 in the future. I put gap to gap type pop. True or false?
Yeah, it depends on what you consider power. Do you consider over the fence power, or do you consider a guy that might have a 550, 600 slugging, by hitting a lot of doubles?
Well, raw power, I'm talking like BP raw power.
Like
watching him in BP
over the fence.
Right.
Yeah, he's like a 40. Yeah.
Okay, so false.
I'd give him a 40 for that. Yeah.
All right. Game power.
I've seen raw power before. I mean, I've seen raw power that you're just like, what is that?
Like Henry
and
Davis.
they never give it out of A ball. No, I see. You see it all over the minor league. Guys are big and strong and have kind of long swings, and it just doesn't.
You know what? Matter. I'm with you. I never understood why people measure raw power. It doesn't really make much sense to me. A few years ago, Riley Adams didn't have very good raw power either, and he's in the big leagues right now, doing pretty well.
Look at Trey Turner.
You're thinking of Shea Hillenbrand.
I don't know what I was thinking of, but Trey Turner was a guy like 6 years ago. I was like, God, I love his swing. He's just he's super fast. He's got a flat swing, kind of like Frelick, right, from the right side, but actually better mechanics. Like his mechanics are really, really tight and compact and short. And it's like now he's hitting he's hitting jacks. He's got a good swing plane. He just kind of made a little adjustment, maybe sitting back a little bit more, and all of a sudden those doubles and triples are turning into bombs.
Yeah,
that's a sneaky guy. I don't know how big Turner is. He's wiry. I can't think he weighs
6'2", 180. Game power for Frelick presently 50, future 40. I don't think he's gonna have much power.
I don't think so either. True.
So true. All right.
Yeah.
I said
fence power. If we're talking home run power,
I said he can go the other way, but his power is to right field.
Yeah.
And I think his power will drop as he moves up levels.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it'll drop. False.
Okay.
Boom.
There you go. You disagree.
Nobody's power really drops. As you go up, the balls get harder and harder, and the stadium gets smaller and smaller.
That is, yeah, that's true. All right, you got me there. All right. Speed. I got presently 70, future 70. Base running, stolen base / base running. Present 60, future 60. I actually said he has, well, true or false?
True.
Okay.
What is his 60 time? Do you know what it is? What do you got?
I don't know what his 60 time is. His home to first on average is 3.6 to 7. Stolen base attempt on average is 3.2.
Okay.
I put actually inconsistent first step when stealing. True or false?
I don't know. Okay. Out of my realm.
Okay. All right. We'll move on from that then. Fielding ability. I put 60 for both present and future.
Maybe 65.
Half pregnant, my friend.
I give him 60, above average, right?
Yeah. I said plus speed. True or false?
Yes, true.
Yeah. Well, and the numbers I mentioned too.
Yeah.
Say that as well. Profiles as a left fielder / center fielder at higher levels.
True.
I guess we'll get into instincts and range.
Guess it depends where Mitchell ends up.
Right.
If he can stay healthy.
Arm strength. This is why I don't think he's a right fielder at higher levels. I gave him 50 on arm strength for both. But he gets rid of the ball quick, I thought. True or false?
Does he? I don't know.
Okay.
I haven't really seen him throw.
Overall instincts. I gave him 60 for both present and future. True or false?
Yeah. True.
I said plays aggressively smart, understands all situations and where to gain the advantage. True or false?
True.
Future value. It's like the future OFP. Again, if you don't know what that is, Google it. 60 future value. True or false?
Ooh, that's big.
Well, that's a major league regular. No.
Yeah.
That matches the major league regular.
I wonder. It is? Yeah, a regular. Okay, like a starter.
I mean, you think, what's Vlad? Vlad's a 70.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, maybe he's like an 80. No, he's probably 70 because defensively he doesn't have a position. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah, I go true.
Yeah.
I hope it's true. You always hope it is for these guys.
Me too. That's what we're just hoping here. In essence. So I gave him two things. I gave him MLB overall comparison. I said Chris Taylor, but I said MLB ceiling. I said his ceiling is Chris Taylor, and his floor is Brandon Nimmo. True or false? False. Which one?
Floor.
You don't agree with Nimmo?
I think the floor will be he's not a big leaguer.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're cutting him short here.
Hey, not every first rounder makes it.
That's true.
You did use the term floor.
Right.
I mean, you're pretty much saying this guy's going to be a big leaguer for a long time.
No, I didn't say that.
Or a decent amount of time.
MLB regular, he should be decent amount of time means like 8 to 10 years.
Yeah. I don't see. I mean, I'd love for that to be a floor.
Do you not see that?
I think there's a possibility that he's not an everyday big leaguer.
All right.
There's a lot of first rounders that aren't. It's just the way it is. Like, it's okay.
Yeah.
He's a great player. And then I also think he could play 15 years in the big leagues too. And it's just, you don't know until they face those. That game is so fast at the big league level. I think he's going to be a dominating minor league hitter. I honestly do. I think he has those skills. And if he can relax and just kind of adapt to that next level every time he moves up, maybe it takes him 50, 100 at bats, then I think he could definitely be there. And I think you're right. Like Chris, I think he could be that.
Yeah.
But if I'm going to say a floor, I think that floor is unfortunately, I'll have to say not a big leaguer.
Okay. Well, in the summary, I won't go through the whole thing. I put regular, center field, left field. You kind of gave me true or false. You're in the middle with that, which is fair.
Yeah, I think he's a center fielder.
Yeah. Well, I'm talking about regular, everyday regular.
Yeah.
There's something you don't see that you're not telling me, which is okay. With it, something's missing with you.
No, because
is it his size? Is that what it is?
Wild card. He's a wild card for me.
Okay. All right.
He really is. Like, I think he's a wild card. I wonder, if the Brewers didn't draft him, where he would have gone.
Well, okay. So
the Brewers really wanted him, and I'm telling you, the Brewers, they know what they're doing. Their front office guys are so sharp, and they just use their resources really well.
Okay.
Their scouting department and their player personnel and other people that, for me, I was like, okay, this guy's, he's good. And then it was like, okay, I really need to dive into this because I didn't see what you saw originally. I was like, hey, this guy's got a great swing plane. He plays in a mediocre conference.
Right.
He's not dominating the, are they? No,
well, no, they're in the ACC, but they play a lot of early season.
Yeah, ACC is good baseball though, So it's like this guy hits, like he's overmatching his competition right now, right? And there's a reason for that. And then you look at him and you're like, if he was only 6'1", you know what I mean, right? If he was only, how many times did you hear that growing up? He was only this. Yeah. But sometimes
he was only smarter.
But you have these guys, sometimes they have this chip on their shoulder.
He only picked another instrument, a different instrument.
And that's right. It's always the instrument. So I don't know. I'm not. There were a couple guys in the draft that I thought were, and they were early, right? Some of the shortstops that were taken. I was like,
Leo Watson.
They're just some really good athletes early. And
Marcello Mayer.
This guy, this scrappy guy from the Northeast, he's 5'9" and 175 pounds. Boom, he goes. There's something special that we don't all see. I alluded to it in the analysis today that there is something special. Now he could also be 195 pounds in a couple years.
Bro.
Easy. Like, I mean, they put him on nutrition and the right kind of training, but they don't put him on nutrition. They don't want any nutrition.
No.
All right, they're gonna put on a McDonald's.
No, I was looking to see. I said chance to add muscle and get stronger in the future.
Yeah, and I agree with that. Yeah. So I don't know.
I would have said. By the way, for the record, everybody,
nobody's a for sure everyday big leaguer. Otherwise, there wouldn't be room for guys.
I would have taken
guys wouldn't play more than 4 years. If every first rounder was an everyday big leaguer, big leaguers only play 2 or 3 years, and then there'd be a first rounder that came in and took his position. And then a couple of years later, that next draft year, with those guys would take their position. So it's not a for sure thing when you're a first rounder. Like, that's all there is to it.
So I would have taken Marcello Mayer first overall, by the way.
I really liked him.
He was the guy I would have taken number one overall. All right. Anyway, so I would have said with Sal, though, to your point, 15th overall, I said I would have taken him in the second round. That's what I would have taken him. I said must take him by the third round.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So true.
True.
Okay. I actually said his entry level should have been advanced day.
Yeah. False, but good try.
Good try.
I didn't think he needed to go to rookie ball. They just sent him to rookie ball for a little bit, maybe because they had a spot for him. But yeah, I would say low A. I think they did the right thing. Low A. Now he's in high A towards the end of the year. Yeah, you could have thrown him in the fire. They're very delicate, these people, though.
Yeah. His ETA, as we talked about earlier, 2024.
Yeah.
Estimated time of arrival.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
A couple more things here, and then we'll wrap up. So I said future top / bottom of the order type hitter that could settle as an everyday number 2 hitter. Maybe that's a stretch, but true or false?
I like that.
You like it? All right.
Yeah.
All righty. Flashes potential for hitting for a high average and on base percentage. True or false?
100% true.
All right. Very good. Strengthens offensive game gap to gap. True or false?
Strengthens. Say again.
Strengthen his offensive game gap to gap. True or false?
Yes. True.
Above average plate coverage. True or false?
True.
Above average bat to ball skills. True or false?
True.
Understands the zone. True or false?
True.
Simple low. True or false?
True.
Bat speed, quickness, has bat speed and quickness. True or false?
True.
Can put the ball down either line for extra base hits. True or false?
True.
I'm reading this word for word, by the way.
That's one of my favorite skills that he has, is at up and away pitch that he can hit down the left field line.
Right.
So
yeah, I agree.
It's so hard, and he does it.
Possesses good intellect. Well, this is defense stuff, so we'll skip that. Not that I don't respect your defensive opinion, but you said you didn't see too much of him defensively, so I don't want to.
I've seen enough to know that he can go get a ball.
All right, well, okay, then you agree with everything I'm going to say defensively.
Yeah, you go get a ball.
Fast twitch type body. True or false?
True.
All right. And finally, this is the final one here. Potential to succeed against tough competition. True or false?
True.
And that is the Sal Frelick scouting report and our first installation of our true and false game. Throw it off to the side.
That was really mind-numbing.
You've had enough of this episode, huh? All right. Next week, hope everybody enjoyed our breakdown. Tools for college coaches looking for prospects. You were a college coach at one point, so you could speak to this very well, like you do every week. You speak well to that next week. So again, tools that college coaches look for in a possible college prospect next week, both very offensively and defensively.
Ooh, yeah.
Yes.
And then important.
And then the next week, we're talking about picking the right college, because that's very important also.
Yes, it is.
And then let me see what else here. Looking at the list. I've got in October a couple of episodes about more college stuff, and then October 31st, another mechanical breakdown of David DeLucci / Sal Frelick / me.
The guy.
All my comps into one.
So
that's great. Coming up. What's coming up though at the lab? That's more important.
What's coming up at the lab? We have certification in a month. Coaches training. So a lot of high school coaches. We just had a bunch of high school coaches sign up for that. Got college softball coaches. And parents. That's actually my favorite. I think if there was one market for the certification program, it's parents. Like you have a 10-year-old, invest in yourself. Like give them the right information, and where you can monitor it and get them on the right track at an early age. If you have 2 kids, even better. So yeah, certification and our fall training. We're just getting after it, grinding every week, those guys. And we're starting. What we do is we kind of, we work more mechanics kind of, once the fall season ends here, we'll work more mechanical stuff. And then we start to ramp up during the season, especially with the high school guys getting ready. We start increasing velocity and competition and stuff like that. So we just do what we do, get players better.
Do what we do. What's the phone number? I had to ask,
www.thelabbcs.com.
And what's the email address?
For everything you can find. Info@thelabbcs.com.
All right. Jimbo Podcast 21 at gmail.com. All right. Well, good show. Long show this week. Thank you, everybody, for watching, listening. We'll talk to you next week. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.